Hello productive people, thanks for tuning in to today's video. I'm going to be showing you how to create two different to-do lists in Notion today. And the reason that I'm showing you two different ones is because everybody has their own style when it comes to to-dos. I think that this video will teach you a little bit about Notion, and it's also going to serve as a way for you to keep track of your tasks in two different ways. Because I know everybody kind of has their own flair and their own way of doing things. And one of these is for maybe a little bit more personal tasks, and the other one is for projects and like people like freelancers that want to track lots of tasks and subtasks. So first I'm going to showcase these, and then after that I'm going to show you how to build them. All right, so let's just jump right into it, and I think you guys are going to learn a ton today. Also, before we get into this, please like this video and comment below and just give us a thank you or just a nice, put some nice words out into the community in the comments down there. And we would really appreciate that. Now let's jump right into my computer, and you'll see that in my Notion workspace here, I have two to-do lists that I'm going to show you. So right here, I'm just going to click on to-do list version 1, and we're going to go through this one first. So let's just get rid of April 5th so I can show you how this works. So when it's the beginning of a new day, all we're going to do is hit new right here, and then we can add in the day. So let's say it's April 5th, 2022. And on that day, we can track our mood here. So this is really good to keep track of, I think, over time, just to see how your mood relates with your progress. So let's just go neutral. As you can see right now, there's no progress in here, but we're going to change that in a moment here. So for your tasks, this is just the day. For your tasks, you're gonna hit add new day over here, and then you can put in the date. So I'm just gonna put April 5th, 2022. And the thing is about this is it's actually a template button. So I can put a template in here for whatever I want to show up when I click that button. So as you can see, if I click it, it just generates a new to-do list. And the reason that I do this as a template button is because I like to plan my days in mornings, midday, or like, I guess you could call this like a focus block, and then night. The best thing I think for a to-do list is to follow this sort of pattern where you have structured routine in the morning, you have like meditate, work out, and then you go into your focus block where you have some tasks, and then your night routine is also the same across your days. The way that I set this up with the tasks in the focus block is we have one big task, one medium task, and one small task. Francesco over at Keep Productive, which is a similar channel to mine, he makes videos on productivity, and I love his channel. He makes lots of good stuff. But he has this method that he calls the bento method, and they're actually creating an app around it right now. You might see some videos on my channel in the future when they come out with that. But the bento method is all about having one big task, one medium task, and one small task. That way you're getting a decent amount done every day, and it makes it a little bit easier to think about what you're going to do. And it also doesn't get you like overclocked where you just fill your to-do list with 10 different tasks, right? 3 tasks are manageable, especially one big, one medium, and one small. So what we would do here is we would just enter our big task. So let's say work on website. Then we're going to enter our medium task. And for our medium task, we're just going to put something like film a Notion video. And then finally down here, I'm just going to put a smaller task like get groceries. And I don't have to change morning and night, but if there is anything like, let's say I wanted to go out to dinner with a friend, I could add that in here, dinner with. And what we're gonna do is throughout our day, we're just gonna check these things off, right? So let's say meditated, we worked out, we worked on a website, we filmed a Notion video. Let's say we didn't get time to go do groceries, right? And let's say we planned tomorrow today, we got dinner, and then we went to sleep by 10 p.m. So we missed one task. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna highlight all the way up to April 5th, no further, and then we're gonna drag it into the April 5th, 2022. Now, if I hit open, as you can see, my tasks are in here. And at the end of every day, when I'm doing the plan tomorrow today, all I would do is mark off these tasks. So let's say, and I could put 5 because it's the 5th day over here. I could put complete tasks in here as well. So let's just check how many tasks I've completed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 completed. Whoops, not 87, 7. And total tasks was 8. We were only 1 short. And what that will do is it will create this percentage and this progress bar right here. So when I zoom out, I can see my progress. And as you can see throughout these days, if this was my to-do list, I could see that my progress has improved throughout these different days, and I've done more and more tasks. So I can see where my productivity is trending. So that was the first to-do list, and I think it's really useful, as I said, for like personal use cases, or if you're just creating like a personal to-do list. But this next one I'm going to show you is great for like bigger projects, or if you require subtasks within a task. And it also has a neat progress tracking function. So it's similar to the one that I just showed you, but I'd also say that this next one I'm going to show you is a little bit less manual. There's less clicking around to do. It's more just like write in your task and then you're good to go. So let's go ahead and take a look at that one. So I'm going to go into to-do list version 2 here. And as you can see, this one's also colorful. I could have made the other one colorful like this, but I didn't get time to, or I guess I didn't think about it. So up top here, we have this green background on this projects area, and this is going to show us all of our projects. Down here, on the other hand, we have our tasks for those projects sorted out. So for building the website, these are our tasks for that. For filming 3 YouTube videos, these are our tasks. And for packing for the trip, these are our tasks. So what I'm going to do is just check these off. And as I check these off, you'll see the progress counter goes up. So once I complete 100% of that project, the progress counter is at 100%. And I can change this filter up here, and I can make it is not 100% or does not contain 100%. There we go. And then that's going to make our 100% projects disappear. If I wanted to add another view here, they would still be here, of course. So let's just type in project table, and we'll call this the archive view. And we're just going to hit the filter button here, and I'm going to turn that off. So now we'll see all of our tasks. And if I go back over to project progress, this one still has the filter on it. So I can come in here if I want to see everything, and I can stay over here if I just want to see the tasks that aren't complete yet. But these won't disappear until they reach 100%. Once they reach 100%, they'll disappear, which is pretty nice. I think this is the most seamless, easy to use, like subtask setup that I've seen in Notion. You can also hide these, so it's pretty nice. And if I wanted to create a new group or a new project, I would just hit this button and I could give it a name. So let's say I wanted to add a new project, grocery list. I could then add a new page. I can hit create new page on any of these, and then I would just change the project to grocery list. Okay, and now we're going to get that new grocery list tab in here, and I can just enter a task name for that. So let's just say chicken, and let's say rice and soup and cake. Okay, so this is my grocery list. Then as you can see, we would just check it off, and slowly that progress bar would get to complete. To be honest with you guys, this is some of my best work in Notion, and I'm really starting to feel like I'm understanding formulas. And that's where I think you really start to see the power of Notion, when you understand relations and formulas and rollups. So if you guys are at a point in your Notion career where you're struggling with some of this stuff, this tutorial might not be the best one for you because it might be a little bit challenging. But if you have somewhat of a grasp on Notion, I would recommend sticking around, and I think you can definitely get something out of this. However, if you're just getting started, like I said, definitely check out my Notion playlist. It has 40 plus videos on Notion and counting, and I'm just going to leave a card up in the corner for that, so you can check that out if you're having trouble with anything in this tutorial. Now I'm going to show you how to build both of these to-do lists. So I'm just going to add a new page in here, so I'll hit /page, enter. And on this page, we are going to create to-do list 1. And I'll name it 1, and I'll put in parentheses tutorial, just so I can keep it separate from this to-do list version 1. But let's just give it an icon. And for to-do list 1, it's actually pretty simple, but we are going to need some additional pages. So I'm going to go back to my to-do list ideas. And right here in the back end, you'll see that I have a day table, a project table, and a tasks table. These are the 3 pages that I use to create these. But I'm just going to recreate these so that I can show you guys this. So we'll do backend tutorial. And what we'll need for to-do list 1 is a days table. So I'm just gonna hit the slash button and I'm gonna type in database, and we're gonna click on this full page database. Now we can give it a name. So I'm just gonna call this daily, and here we'll give it a name of day. Okay, and we'll also add a date column. So the thing about Notion is you need to have a text column like this. It doesn't allow you to get rid of this column. So what I would do is just drag this to the end, because I would rather be using a date column for this first one. So I'm going to call this date, and that way we can just click into here and we can select the day. If we used this one here, we would have to type the day. So like April 1, 2022. So if you want it to be a little bit cleaner, you could just get rid of this and you could just use this one right here. But it's really up to you. You don't necessarily need to create this date column. I just like that it's so easy to click on the day. If I open this up, I can just go boom, the second, right? So that's why I set it up like that. Now, I also have a tag list. So they already have the tags property in here, but if you don't see that, just hit edit property. And then over here, you'll notice that the type is set to multi-select. So you don't want select, you're gonna want multi-select so that you can select multiple moods for the day. So I'm gonna hit rename and I'm gonna call this mood. And for mood, we're just gonna put things like motivated, happy, neutral, sad, things like that, so that we have some moods that we can enter into here. Unmotivated as well, so we have that in there. So once you have some moods, you're pretty much ready to go with that, and you can come in here and select your mood for the day. So maybe you're motivated and happy, and you can drag that down to make it a little bit simpler as well. And now I'm going to create that progress bar that I was showing you earlier. This is so cool, guys, and I actually learned this from another YouTuber called Gregory. And they make amazing videos on formulas and all sorts of things. So I will leave a link to their YouTube channel down in my description, and you can check out their channel. I'm sure there's a lot that you could learn from them if you haven't already found the channel. It's probably like 3 times the size of mine. So I'm sure you guys have seen Gregory around, but this progress tracker is pretty sweet. So let's just go ahead and hit the plus button. And first we're going to hit type and number. And this is going to be where we enter total tasks. So I'm going to rename it to total. Okay, so this is total. And let's create another number. And we're going to call this one completed. So now what we can do is we can enter a number here for how many tasks we had total for the day, 10. And let's say completed 5. And that way the progress bar should be at 50%. But how do you create that progress bar? Well, I'm about to show you. So you're going to hit the plus button, hit type, formula, and we're going to rename this to progress. And I'm just going to drag this over, and these ones can actually be hidden now if I wanted to. And then if I open up the day itself, I can see them in here still. So I can edit those when I open up my day and I move my tasks in here later on. Next, we're going to create the formula for progress. So when you're entering this formula, you're just going to type slice, then you're going to put a parenthesis and a quotation mark. So the reason that we're slicing is because there's actually some Unicode that we're going to put in here. And that's just like a symbol that you can copy on, I'll leave a website down below where you can copy these. But one of the Unicode symbols is a little line. So all it is like a hyphen like that. But the reason that it's different from a hyphen is there's no space between them. So if I put hyphens in there, you'll see that there's a space. But I'm just going to paste this line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. So when progress is at 100%, this will show up. So next we're going to type comma, 0, comma, and then we're going to type floor. And floor rounds down. So we're going to be rounding down on those properties that we created earlier. So for those properties, what were they called again? That's the one thing about hiding properties. Total and completed. Okay. So we need to reference those, and it actually got rid of my formula, so I'm gonna rewrite it. And in here, you're gonna put 10 space times space, and then we're gonna reference the completed column. So you can just click on it right here, and that will enter that into your formula, prop completed. Then we're gonna do a space, and we're gonna divide by the total. So now we're doing 10 times completed divided by total. Next, let's just close off these parentheses here. And to get that little circle that I had on the end of my progress bar, all you have to do is space plus space, and then we will copy that Unicode. So this is another piece of Unicode. I will actually just put these in the description for you guys so that they're easy to find. But then we're gonna put a space because we want a space after that. And as you can see, this is working out quite well. So it's at 50% right now. I don't know if you guys remember, but I think we had like 5 and 10 for completed in total in this column. So that's good, but if we wanted to show a percentage after this as well, you could just hit plus space, and then we're just gonna copy this first part. So copy it by hitting Command C. Then I'm gonna go over here after the plus, and we're gonna paste. Then on the outside of floor, we're gonna type format and put a parenthesis in there. And then finally, we're just going to space plus, then we're gonna add a percent on the end of that. So as you can see, it says 5%. And to make that say 50%, we just have to add another 0 right here. So now it says 50%. So if I hit done, now we will see that our progress is at 50% because if I go into this day, 5 tasks were completed out of 10. Now let's create that view that I had in the beginning of this video so that you can drag your tasks into these days. So we're gonna go back to to-do list ideas, and now we have daily in our back end here. I'm just gonna go into to-do list 1 tutorial, and we're going to actually make this full page or full width and small text. And here, I just wanna create some call outs. So I'm gonna hit slash call out. And this is only for visual purposes. There's no real reason to create a call out other than that. And you can change the colors of these, which is pretty nice. So let's just say I wanted to go with like orange, and we wanted to do this task button, and we're gonna call this tasks. I'll make that bold, and then enter down, hit slash, type div, enter on divider, and it exited the call out. So just drag it right back in like that. Then we're gonna hit plus, and we need a template button in here. So let's click template button, and now we can edit our template. So this is our daily template. We can give it a name. I'm just gonna call it add new day. And the template is going to be pretty simple. It's just gonna be date. So I'm just gonna put in date because we can't edit that dynamically. So we're just gonna have to manually change that. And I'm gonna type in morning. And then let's make morning bold by just highlighting it and hitting Command B. Then go down to your next line, and you're gonna do slash to do, enter. And now we have a to-do list item. Another quick way to do this is just to hit bracket and then closing bracket, and that will create a to-do as well. That's a pretty cool shortcut to use. So then we can enter our morning tasks. So let's just say morning jog, whatever you like to do in the morning, like routines and things like that are good to put in here. And then meditation. Then let's go and add another one. Let's just call it focus block. As I was saying in the beginning of this video, that's just kind of how I like to do my days. And then I would put 1 big task, 1 medium task, only 1 small task. Now we can hit enter and enter again, and we can do night. Just gonna highlight it, Command B. We're gonna go down and we're gonna create some more to-dos. So this will be planned tomorrow, today. That's a great habit to get into. And go to sleep by 10 p.m. Let's just say those are our to-dos that we want in our button. So now I can click away from this, or actually I can hit close. And if I hit add new day, it's just gonna put that in here. I can drag that back above. So yeah, now we have this, but how can we get our table that we just created in here? Well, you're just gonna hit slash, and you're gonna type in link and you're going to click on this linked view of database. Then you're going to enter the name, or just click it if you see it in here. So I see daily, that's the one that we want. And now we have our daily tracker in here. Below that, I'm just going to create column 1, and then I'm going to hit enter and type column 2. And I'm just going to drag column 2 alongside column 1 till I get that little blue line on the side. So now we've got 2 columns that we can work with. And I'm going to turn this one into a call out, not a call out yet. And this one already is. So let's just do call out, and we can do a different color for this. Let's say maybe we go with gray, or we could go with like a brown, and that would kind of match well with the orange, I guess. It's kind of an earthy tone. So let's just call this days, or like day tracker. And we're going to make that bold, Command B. Gonna hit enter, and I'm gonna type /div, enter. Drag that back in. Then we're gonna hit the plus sign right here to get a space. And once you have that, you can drag your whole table into the day tracker. You can actually get rid of that space. So yeah, there's the day tracker. Next, we just need to drag the task all out down to here and get rid of this column 1 text. And you can drag these around however you want. This doesn't need as much space over here, so maybe it's best if this takes up some more screen real estate. And we can move things however we want. If you don't want to see day, you could drag that over there. But this is pretty much it, guys. If you wanted to create April 2nd, you'd just hit plus. Then you'd call it April 2nd, 2022. You can select April 2nd. And for your mood, you can enter that here. So let's just say you're feeling neutral, and I realized I spelled that wrong. And then we would just plan out our day here. So April 2nd, 2022, and we could enter our tasks. So let's say our big task is build website. Then we'd have a medium task and a small task that we could fill in. And throughout the day, sort of check things off. We did all those things, copy it, and drag it to April 2. And we'll open that up and we'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 completed, 7 total. That means we completed 71% of our tasks. And then it's easy to come in here and just hit add new day and add a new day in here as well. And then you can move on to your next day. Now I'm going to show you how to build that second to-do list that I showcased in the beginning of this video. And there's a lot of similarities that come along with this to-do list compared to the last one that I showed you guys. But there's also some more nuanced features that I want to show you guys, like relations and roll-ups. So let's get right into that. So let's just hit plus right here, and we will create a page, and I'm just going to call this to-do list tutorial. And we're going to make that a checkbox. Now we have that ready to go. And we're going to create some new backend items. So we're going to have to create a project and tasks table. So let's just do that really quick. For the project table, just hit plus and page, and we're going to call it projects tutorial. And on this projects tutorial, you're just going to turn it into a table. Then we're going to go out to our to-do list ideas, and we're going to hit plus here, page, and we need to create tasks tutorial. You can add icons for these ones if you want. I didn't last time, but you can put whatever you want in here. So for projects, maybe it's good to go with the mountain. For tasks, it's good to go with that check mark there. So these are, well, this one actually has to be a table too. So turn that one into a table as well. And these are going to be linked together essentially. So we're going to start out in the projects table. And I'm just going to hit new database, and we're going to call this projects tutorial. And here you can enter a name of the project. So just call it project, and we can enter some projects in here. So let's just go project 1, project 2, 3. Not a lot of creativity on my end with that, but you can enter all of your projects however you want to see them. I'm going to delete this property. And now let's go back to our to-do list ideas, and the projects tutorial is finished. That's good to go. Now let's go over to tasks, and we're going to create a new database. So we're going to call this tasks tutorial and add an icon. Boom. And for this, we're just going to add some tasks. So I'm just going to type task A, B, C. You don't have to enter these yet if you don't want to. Maybe just enter 1 or 2 just as examples. I'm just going to enter a few in here so that we have a lot to work with. And I'm going to delete this tags column here. Next, we need to create a completion column. So this is just a simple checkbox property, and we can call this completion. Then you can drag that down. The nice thing about the checkbox properties, you can drag that all the way down and you'll be able to just see that very thin line. Whereas with the name column, it only lets you drag it so far. So I like that they added that for the checkboxes because it's not necessary to see the word up there. So that's a good feature that Notion improved upon. Next, we're going to add a due date so that we can sort by due date. So let's just select the type, date, and now we can select the due date for these, whatever due dates we want. I'm just putting in some arbitrary numbers. Next, we're going to create a relation column so that we can relate these tasks to different projects. So if I hit plus right here, I can just go to type, change that to relation, and we're going to click on projects tutorial because that's the database that we just created. And we're going to call this related projects. Now you can select which project you want to relate to these. So let's say these ones are project 2, and project 2. This one is project 1. And then for these last two, let's say that is related to project 3. Now that this is all set up, we can create a better view of this by hitting sort, due date, and you can sort by the due date. So I'm just going to have it ascending actually. So the nearest due date or past due dates will show up top. Then I'm going to click on these 3 dots right here, and I'm going to go to group, and we're going to group by related projects. Then you can hide this top one right here so that you just see the project name and then the tasks that are associated with it. I'm going to hide those now, and we're going to head back over to our to-do list ideas page, and I'm going to go into the projects tutorial. So now we have this new property in here that relates the tasks over to the project. And what we're going to want to do is actually do a roll up of the checkboxes. So let's hit plus right here, and we're going to do roll up, and I'm just going to rename this done. And for the relation, you can select related to tasks tutorial. Now you're going to want to select the column that you want to reference from that task. So for task D and task E, we want to pull in the checkbox for those. So let's go to property and select completion. So now we can see our checkboxes for each of these. Next, hit calculate. And for the done column here, we want to count all that are checked. So don't hit count all, actually hit checked. So it should be 0 across the board because none of our tasks are done there. Then I'm going to create another roll up, and this time we're going to select the same relation, the same property, except this time instead of selecting checked, we're going to select unchecked. Actually, we're going to select count all. Sorry about that. So count all there. And this will be a total. So I'm going to type in total. So we have total and done, and that allows us to create a progress bar like the one that I showed you guys in the first task list. So let's just hit plus, and we're going to go to type, formula, and we're going to call this progress. Then you can click into this empty box here and you can start typing your formula. So for this one, once again, it's very similar to the last one, just maybe a little bit different with a few words, but we're going to slice, then we're going to grab our Unicode line. Like I said, that will be in the description below. So I'm going to paste that 10 times. It's already once. Now I'm going to go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're going to close that off with another quotation mark, comma, 0, comma, floor. Then we're going to put a parenthesis 10 times prop, and we have to select done. Then we're going to divide by total. And it's expecting some more parentheses here, so let's just close that off with 2. And then this is moving along quite nicely. But if we want to add that circle, I'm just going to hit plus and I can add that circle, copy it from over here. And we're actually going to put a quotation mark around it, put the circle, space, quotation mark. And finally, we're going to space, hit plus, format, parenthesis. And then we're just going to grab floor all the way to the end of this. Copy it, Command C, and paste it over here. You're going to change this value to 100. Finally, you're just going to hit quotation mark, percent, quotation mark. And now this is good to go. But the progress for all of these is at 0%. So let's move this project tutorial table into a table with our tasks. And let's kind of create that dashboard like I showed you guys in the beginning of this video. So we're just going to go into to-do list 2 here. And we're going to make it full screen just to add some extra spacing here. And we're going to type /callout, hit enter. And this is going to be our tasks callout. Then we also want to create another callout /callout. And this is going to be our projects. So you can drag these like that if you want. Like if you want to see projects on top, you can also click on that button right there, hit color. And you can change the color of this if you wanted to, this one as well. So now we have green for projects and purple for tasks. I can also highlight this, make that bold. You could drag these side by side as well if you wanted to, but I prefer with the projects view to have the projects on top and the tasks on the bottom. So I'm just gonna hold shift and hit enter to go down to the next line here. And then we're gonna do that one more time. And I'm gonna type in /div. Click on that divider there. We're going to drag that to the empty space. Here is where we can enter our linked database. So I'm going to hit /, I'm going to type linked, and linked view of database right here is what we want to select. Then you can select your tasks database that we created. And if you click right here, you can hide the database title. So it's a little bit cleaner. And now we have all of our projects here, and I can check certain ones off if I wanted to, or certain tasks off. They're sorted by project, as you can see, but let's also add our projects up here. So I'm going to hold shift, hit enter, and that's going to bring me down to the next line where I can hit /, then I can type linked, and we're going to hit linked view database, drag that into this empty space, add a divider in here. So /div, enter. And it always pulls it out of the callout, so just drag it right back in. These callouts really aren't made for putting things inside of them, but I think it looks nice, so that's why I do it. But here we're just going to select a data source. I'm going to go to projects, and now we can see our progress. We're just going to hide a few of these properties so that they aren't clouding our view from what's really important. Because all we really need to see is the progress and the project name here. So that looks pretty good now. And as we check things off, the progress bar continues to move. We wanted to add a new project. We just click here, project 4. And then I could go to this hidden group here. And this is where we have no related project tasks. So if I want to add a new task, I can just enter it here. So we'll just call this task Z. And we can relate it over to project 4. And now that one, when I click it, it's just one task within the project, so it should go to 100%. Click it and 100%. I hope this tutorial helped you guys out with your to-do lists in Notion. And if it did, please leave a like on this video, comment below and leave some feedback, and subscribe to stay updated and get all of our content that we're coming out with. All right, I appreciate you guys, and we'll see you in the next one.